Silver stacking or buying silver at $19 isn't hard, but should you be stacking silver right now is a different question. To be good at stacking silver, you have to know how to focus on the right conditions. And when you finish this video, you should have a clear understanding of the 6 reasons or market conditions that make me a little nervous about $19 silver. In fact, it scares me because I'm not totally convinced we're at the bottom. So if we're not at the bottom, then you and I need to develop a slightly different approach for where we are in the market. An approach that works best for you, your budget, your goals, and your emotional intelligence as an investor. This video is part 1 of a 2-part series I'm putting out on the same day, as I'm aware that some of you will be more interested in understanding the risk associated with the market and developing a broader strategy, which is what we're going to cover now, while some of you will want to know how you should be stacking right now and developing an appropriate buying strategy, which is what I'm going to cover in part 2. Also, make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to share with you how I may have lied to you in the last video. Speaking of which, in my last video, I really went into the concept of price versus value, and I cannot say this enough. Just because something is cheap or on sale, that does not mean we need to act like Pavlov's dog or run around like drunken sailors on leave spending our money. Because sometimes one sale leads to an even bigger and better sale. So let's cover the 6 reasons why you should be very cautious about this $19 silver right now. Number 1, technical recession and the difference between the silver and gold markets. 2020 should be a good reminder that while silver and gold markets may move together, they are very different markets with very different fundamentals and different behaviors. The challenges with silver are very unique, and as a result, the data and analysis has to be done differently. For example, silver is down almost 13% year to date, while gold is essentially flat. The bottom line is that I think that we may have understated the importance and influence of silver's industrial usage as an underlying support for the prices. This doesn't bode well since we are in what some are calling a technical recession because we've had 2 months of negative GDP. Yes, the silver market in particular is manipulated, so don't at me in the comments. But regardless of that, there are enough other sharks circling in the water that we really need to focus on. One of these sharks is the slow economic growth, which means less industrial uses, which accounts for 75% of silver's demand. And until investors truly step in and purchase silver as a monetary metal and for protection, we could experience more softness in price. Not to mention, do we even know if investor demand can fully account for that lower industrial demand? Number 2, prices are low. And while they are low, that doesn't mean that we're at the bottom for silver. At least from a technical perspective, a case can be made that low $18 silver is not out of the question. After all, we did briefly touch 16 in 2020. Not to mention the market sentiment, and as I mentioned in the previous video, that capitulation that's kind of just starting to, you can feel it now, it's really there. Again, I know it's not you folks because you're my real stackers, but that's also a real concern. Number 3, the velocity or speed at which the bottom has fallen out of this is very concerning for me. The way that we have fallen from $22 on June 9th to $19 on July 1st, or more importantly, the more than 8% price drop in less than 10 days, has just felt like really like a bad roller coaster ride, and it may get worse. Number 4, not all dips are for buying, as you could be trying to catch a falling knife. And I don't know how many times I can, need, or will have to say this, but it's the truth. I can only imagine what some of your hands look like right now if you've been buying the dip since $26 earlier this year. Someone simply telling you to buy the dip is actually not very sophisticated or even quality advice. It's what the market makers and stockbrokers tell you to keep you from capitulating. Don't get me wrong, there are times and places to take that advice. But someone simply shouting out, you should just buy the dip, could be reckless for your wealth. As I shared in my previous video, my last significant purchase in silver was back in March. I've just been sitting back watching the market fall. And I could have been buying every dip, or I could be sitting, looking at the conditions going, this doesn't look very good. I'm gonna hold my cash. And when I think we're closer to the bottom, or the speed at which things are falling give me an indication that maybe it's time to buy, I can actually get more metals for my money than simply just buying the dip. And that's why I say it's not always good advice, and not all dips are for buying. Sometimes you have to sit back and let it go. And that leads us into the fifth piece, which is remember that the trend is your friend to the end. Someone tell me what the trend is right now. So that should lead us to believe that there can be more downside, meaning another dip. I know some of you thinking, well, I'll just buy more when that one comes as well. But at some point, you're missing the real opportunity. The opportunity is about getting the most metal for your money, which is exactly why I've been sitting around on the sideline. And I keep telling you that because there's lots of weakness here. Everything says it. And so while your dollar cost averaging on the way down from 26 and 25 and 24, and you're not getting as much metal as you can, then if you just sat back and wait, and even waited until now at $19, you would have significantly more metal by understanding what's going on with the market and exercising patience and not just jumping on the buy the dip as the pumpers and dumpers will put out there in your emails and out on videos. As I've shared, I've saved myself more than $3 per ounce in price by simply waiting, being patient, sitting on my hands, twiddling my thumbs, waiting for the opportunity. And if you multiply that by X number of ounces, you can quickly see that that can have a major impact. Number 6, the illusion of market conditions shifting. I'm referring to this as an illusion for like 3 reasons. One, flat out, they are lying about inflation data and the indicators. And we know that they've lied from the very beginning, but they're continuing to lie to give people what they want to hear. So regardless of it being a lie, it's what people want to hear and believe. And so that is also adding to the weakness in people thinking that, oh, maybe the Fed isn't going to tighten as quickly or whatever. And so this belief that the Fed won't be as aggressive with rate hikes, I think it's a dream. Now, that's different than when the Fed reverses its policy. And the third thing is the dollar is overperforming. But the real question is, for how long can it keep pulling off this magic trick of sorts? You already know that I have a bonus one for you because I always want to give you more than what you paid for. But wait, they're not even, never mind. 7, liquidity crisis and stock market capitulation. Now, I'm not necessarily predicting that this will happen, though some out there do believe there is a strong possibility of this. Regardless, that sell everything moment would result in a temporary sell-off in silver and gold markets, which means we would actually have a fire sale opportunity. There you go, folks. Those are my 6 and one bonus reason why I am very much concerned that $19 silver could very quickly become $18 silver, low $18 silver, which may be an even better buying opportunity for us. Some people are going to tell you to buy because silver should bounce back because it's frankly so oversold right now. I don't know. When you look at the candlestick from Friday, it could give you some hope that because we see that buyers came in at the end and drove the price back up a little bit. Hey folks, you know what I always say, I might be right, I might be wrong, but at least you know my rationale and what I'm thinking and what I'm basing my position off of, which is not from some dark, stinky hole in my body. Which leads me to my confession. Frankly, I'm starting to feel like I'm back in Catholic school all over again, as I keep confessing on these videos. But before that, in the comment section, given what I've shared, where do you think prices are going to go by the end of the month? And which of the 6 reasons resonate the most with you and why? Okay, hit that pause button right now, comment, so you can come back and hear my confession. Okay, now that you commented, here we go. My last video, why silver price doesn't matter, may have made me a liar, or I may have accidentally lied to you. At the time I made the video, I said I was finally buying again, and 2050 was going to be my buying level. Well, within a blink of an eye, silver dove well below that number. And again, it's the speed at which it dropped that concerns me. So until the conditions, not predictions, change, I'm probably going to continue to sit this out. I want to be clear. I'm not trying to time the market, but I am trying to listen and pay attention to what the market is whispering. As investors, we have to turn down all the other noise of the pumpers and the dumpers and the hype men and the folks who just roll out coins and shoot from the hips with ideas and tell you what they hope will happen. I can't say this enough. Invest in your education so that you can fine-tune your brain to eliminate the noise so that you can hear the whispers of the market. She talks, but are you listening? This is your hard-earned money, fiat, that you are trying to convert into real money. And I want you to get the most metals for your fiat as possible. So please do what's best for you. Just do it with good information in your head and using your brain. Thank you for seeing this video all the way through. You are my A+ students. Always stack smarter and never stop learning, folks. Take care.